be in the new app that's coming real soon. That'll just be by subscription only. But a lot of information will still be on the YouTube channel and in the Facebook group. Before I get ahead of myself, let me introduce myself. My name is Deborah Valerie, and I am creating a global, worldwide community of Black women retirees. I normally say Black women over 60. 60 plus Black women expats group is the name of the Facebook group, and 60 plus Black women expats retirees is the YouTube channel. And I started out with 60 plus, so I'm going to keep it. But I've discovered that a lot of people are retiring before 60. And so the 60 part is not hard and fast, but it is different from other channels and Facebook groups in that it's not location centered. The whole world is what is the community that I'm seeking to create a network of. So it's a network of communities. And the focus is different. We're not looking to be digital nomads. At this age, we've done the work, we paid our dues, and we want to retire overseas and either live a significant part of the year, full time or part time overseas. And that's where the term expats come from, because an expat is just short for expatriate, which is anybody who is living in a different country than their native country. You still remain citizen of your native country. And so it, regardless of where I live, whether it's in Africa or Mexico or Panama, Portugal, Ecuador, as long as I remain a U.S. citizen, I could become a resident of that country and probably will become a resident of probably more than one foreign country. I'll still maintain my U.S. citizenship. And so therefore, I will commonly be considered an expat in that particular country. Just if someone from Germany came to America and remained a citizen of Germany, but lived and worked in America, they would be an expat in America. So it's just when you live a significant amount of time in another country, you're considered an expat. Okay, now that I've got that out the way, and so my goal is for the people who will find value in this channel, in the Facebook group, and in the private subscription, are those who have, number one, already made the decision to live abroad. We're not here to convince somebody to leave the United States. We have already decided that we want to live abroad. Either we're fulfilling a lifelong dream of retiring and moving abroad and traveling for a significant amount of time, maybe living a year in one country and another year in another. And that's our dream. We've already made that decision. So this channel is not where I'm trying to convince anybody. This is where you get the information and the how to, and most importantly, this is for those who are already expats and have been expats for years and are Black women who are living all over the world. And fortunately, we have a lot of them in our Facebook group, 60 plus Black women expats. And those women are what I call VIPs because they are very important to those of us who are still in transition or still just getting started, because what they assume is common everyday knowledge is very new to us. And so they join the group and they're willing to share. And so on more than one occasion, a person who has lived in, say, Panama for a number of years, and they know a few Black people, and the expat community is thriving and growing in Panama. But lo and behold, they join the Facebook group and find out that someone from their own hometown lives just in the next city or in the next block. And so that community and that bond is already there and welcoming. So that's why I say a worldwide global community, because a lot of times your friends and people that you've met along in your life are people who know you, are your neighbors, and you would have no way of connecting unless you joined a particular group and found out that they too were there. And so that's what this Facebook group and the YouTube channel and the up and coming subscription will be all about. So I think I've got that out the way as to who would find value in this channel. Okay, and this particular segment, as I said, is going to cover the difference between just having an extended vacation and doing a boots on the ground, or some people call it uh, a scouting trip, because you are going to find out the suitability, how suitable you've dreamed of going to this country. You've looked at videos endlessly on YouTube, and now you are ready to do some work and find out if this place, in fact, is a place that you can call your home. So, with that, I'm going to try to do the channel share again. And I promise you guys, I did practice this. Let's see. I think it's going to come up. And I'm going to start, as I said, I went to Puerto Vallarta on July, I think 27th. I spent 35 days in beautiful Puerto Vallarta. And I lived in the mountainous area of Buenos Aires. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see if it's working. Okay, great. I thought, wait, let's see if you can see it on StreamYard. No. Okay, guys. This worked a minute ago. Let's see. I sure hope so, because I got some beautiful shots. And I want you guys to see it. So I'm going to close this down and see if I can share again. So give me a minute. Oh, and you guys can ask questions. Let's see. I'll try to answer questions. Hi, Diamond. Hello, late but on. That's okay. It's okay that you're late. I'm still, and I promise I practiced this. I did. Okay. So let's see. I'm going to go over here and let's see. Whoops. I'm going to stop sharing and then go back to that folder. Alrighty, and let's see. I'll try. And I wanted to start at the very beginning. Now it just has me. I don't want full screen. Okay, I'll start with the mindset of boots on the ground, because that's where you start. First of all, having the mindset of boots on the ground, you don't set it up as a vacation. You have a plan of action before you ever start. And I did. I knew probably a month ahead of time I wanted to check out the medical. I wanted to check out dental. I wanted to check out the ease of prescriptions because at 60, I know very few people who are not on some type of medication. And because of that, I wanted to make sure that I could get those prescriptions in whatever country I choose to live in, because that's important. So, because I made that known to family and friends, some who were interested in traveling abroad and some who were not, there was, oh, could you check and see if this prescription is available, or can you check and see if the cost is the same as the U.S. Um, will my insurance cover the prescriptions over there? And so I'll answer all of those questions in the in this segment. So list. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. Okay. I'm gonna try to share the screen again. What I did discover, yay, there it is. What I did discover is a lot of the prescription drugs in the US, in Puerto Vallarta, don't require a prescription. And one example of that was a cream for that I used on my foot. Anyway, the prescription I never got filled in the US and it was just buried in my purse. Well, I pulled it out. This was not planned. I pulled it out and just tested and handed it to the lady. The prescription's a year old, and she had no problem filling the prescription. And it was about $35. I don't know how, honestly, don't know how much it was in the US. I'm thinking it was around 42, I'm guessing. But immediately I knew I could, the prescription was written in the US. They had no problem um, taking care of that prescription in that foreign country in Puerto Vallarta. So that was very good. The other thing that doesn't apply to a lot of people, but applied to me, was that I travel with a dog. And so I had to be careful that I would be able to get around with said animal while I was there. And so I checked that out. And even though I found my Airbnb and my um, profile on the Airbnb said I travel with a dog, a service dog. Um, Once I got there and got to the airport, thankfully the taxis were accommodating, but I found out the Ubers did not like having a pet, and that's a problem. That was an unexpected problem, and that was something. If I was going to live there, I would want to know if I was going to be able to take my dog with me if anywhere in the city. It turned out because I was there for um, more than 30 days and I developed a relationship with the Uber drivers that they did, in fact, um, start to allow the regulars. I started to become a regular, treated like a local, so I was able to travel with my dog. Uh, so that was one hurdle that was overcome. Let's see. Do you have a list of things to consider when? Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm going through that list. My daughter. I'm reading a question. My daughter is one who is bringing mom along as she exits. However, mom needs to be knowledgeable, and these resources are helpful as I prepare and participate in our exit plan. Absolutely, absolutely. So yes, uh, finding my accommodation. I was going through all of the oops. Okay. Good. Okay, I'm going to attempt this again. Let's see if it will let me do it. Window. That. Okay. Share. Oh, I'm so sorry y'all have to go through this. Okay, good. Okay. Now, let's see if in fact this is working. Is it working? Is it sharing? It's sharing. It's sharing. Okay, great. Okay. Now, all right. Now let's see if I could. Yes, it's letting me scroll. Hallelujah. Okay, great. So, starting with the first slide, and it's just showing that I've been to several places. So these are the places I've covered. So this wasn't my first boots on the ground or novice. I'm not a novice traveler, but I am a novice in terms of looking for a place to live abroad. So we're getting off on the same footing. Okay. It started with, and it's very important if you are traveling with an animal, whether it's a service animal or not, you want to acclimate that animal, that pet, to air travel. And so a week before I ever set out, oh no, probably a month before, I started a weekly visit to the airport with Tyson, and we would go, and then 2 weeks before we entered the airport, we would go through every place that we could that didn't require security or going through TSA. Spent a lot of time in the baggage area because that was the most traffic. And he is a service dog, but I never expose him to, I never throw him into an environment. He's used to grocery stores and shopping malls, but the airport and the luggage and the sound and the people that want to play with him, that was totally different. And I wanted him prepared for that. So, and he sat there very, very obediently, and we had a great time. There he is in the plane. Okay. Now, when you start your boots on the ground, it's all about the mindset. So, from the very time I landed, I was looking at the geography of the place. I'm looking at the elevation. I'm looking at the different buildings, the residential area, whether it's mountainous. Because I've been to Puerto Vallarta once before, like 20 years ago, stayed in a hotel on the beach, had a fantastic time, like everybody else that's vacationing. That's as far as I went. It's for, so now I'm not only going through the city, but all the surrounding areas. Okay, so I'm paying attention as I'm driving along. Now, I was lucky enough to be in the Buenos Aires. And so as I'm driving along, I'm realizing, wow, there's mountains and there's new construction, which is something I'm looking for because it's thriving and it's growing. And so I'm making note of all of this, just the how large the area is, because it's known as it's a very large tourist area. And because I went in 2021, I think I was there when they started to receive cruise ships again after being shut down for uh, not having cruise ships come. So the city was extremely excited about having tourists back in. Uh, so this is my trip from the airport, and I'm taking note of the residential area, of the shopping areas. There's shopping malls. There's Walmart. I think there's Costco's, Walmart's. Um, so all of the big retail, U.S. retail places are over there. There's Starbucks. Um, what I didn't know, I know it's right on the beach, but what I didn't know was there's a river that runs through the city and up into the mountains. Oh, the food. The food was fantastic. And I want to back up a bit because I say it's boots on the ground or any type of international travel. You have to have the right frame of mind. I knew I was going to be there for an extended period of time. So I brought 2 carry-ons and I brought 2 check bags. Well, my 2 check bags did not make it with me. And so I was without my 2 check bags for more than 2 days. So it's very important that you carry with you all your vital information in terms of where you're staying, the people, the Airbnb, the address, and things like that. So you always want to keep that type of stuff on your person. I learned that from doing international marathons where you had people arrive to run a race that they had trained for over a year. And lo and behold, they packed their tennis shoes in the check bag, and the check bag didn't arrive. That was a disaster. So I learned how to have a packing slip, a very thorough packing slip of electronics and everything that I was going to need to make the trip successful. Um, and I would be glad to share that packing slip with anybody who makes a comment. Oh, yes, this is being broadcast on YouTube. So please like, comment, subscribe, because this will be a segment. Well, at the airport, what I didn't know, but I should have known, and I'll share with you, because it's probably the case in many cities that are very big on the tourist list, is that you are bombarded in the Port of Vallarta airport immediately with people selling timeshares and tours, and they be the expats groups, because within my group, within 60 plus Black women expat, I reached out as soon as you know where you want to go, then you just let it be known in that group, I'm going to this country. Anybody in the group in this country, and those people will say, oh yeah, here, this is I'm located in this area. Our local Facebook Facebook group is, and then you connect with that local group weeks before you get to that destination, because they're going to tell you when they're going to have meetups, meet and greets. You're going to connect with certain people in that group who are going to give you very vital information. So I think they may have mentioned it. I didn't pay attention to it, but there will be lines of people pretending to be taxi cab drivers that aren't taxi cab drivers. They are timeshare people and they will pay for your taxi. They will pay for your taxi if you promise to show up and go to their timeshare. So anyway, that's something I like I said, I should have paid attention to, because I actually did, with my luggage being lost, which delayed. The guy was like, "Oh, I'll be glad to help you out with that. And here, the taxi is here for you. You got your dog all in there. By the way, I have a timeshare. Would you please show up the next day?" And of course, I felt obligated because he was very helpful in getting me through the airport. But I'll tell you about that as we progress. I didn't console myself with food. The food was absolutely fabulous. Fabulous food. Okay, whoops. Lost the boots on the ground. Can't do that. Let me go back. Which one? That one. Let's see where am I? Gotta be careful. Cars. Which one? Give me a minute. Oops. Okay, guys. I'm gonna have to. I don't want to lose the boots on the ground. Okay, what you're looking at now is I'm trying to see if that's the neighborhood before the flood. I'm thinking so because I don't think I moved my hand that fast. Okay, I'm going to close this one. I'm going to close some of these down. So, yes. See if that moves. Now I'm searching. Nope, that's the wrong one. So I'm going to close this one down. There were a lot of photos that opened up, so I have to go through to find out which one I was on. Let's see if I got any questions while I look for this. Are there gluten-free? Okay, there's everything in Puerto. When it comes to food, Puerto Vallarta is a food haven. I mean, it's not just Mexican food. The seafood was fantastic. There were the upscale restaurants. There were the what we would call mom and pop restaurants, but the street vendors. One thing about Puerto Vallarta, and I don't know if it's all of Mexico, but I spent a lot of time talking to um, the people I came in contact with, and they were just a wealth of information. Hi, Gloria. Oh, I will share the packing list. Okay. Um, Oops, lost my train of thought. Oh, the food. Yes. Um, I found a lot of information from the local group, Araka, and I have a video of Araka and also Empress were two people that I actually interviewed while I was there for the channel. So if you have not watched their videos, you do want to go back and look at those because there was so much information. Hi, Carmen. Hi, Theo. Oh my gosh, I love the members. I do. I just gush over you guys because you're so brave and you're so selfless in sharing information. And I really, really do appreciate that. Um, because that's what makes the group what it is so fantastic is that people are willing to share their information. Let's see, gluten free. So I don't see you having a problem with gluten free. There's huge restaurants. There like it's almost like living in the U.S. in terms of the variety of food. What I did find, which is what everybody says, and you probably for those of you who haven't traveled abroad or haven't lived abroad, you probably get sick of people saying, "Oh, how great the food is," but you have not tasted food until you've tasted it free of chemicals. And our palate is used to the preservatives, the antibiotics, uh, and stuff that are in our foods. And over there, because it's from, oh, that's Tyson. Uh, sorry, guys. Because it's literally picked that morning, or the fish is caught that morning that you just don't have that, and you really get to taste the food, and it is fantastic. And so you won't have a problem with that. Uh, Also allergic to, actually, so need to see if I'm going to prepare my food without. I don't know what that is. Made to order. Yeah, they do a lot of made to order. I don't know what night. Yeah, what are nightshades? I have no idea what you're talking about. Nightshades. So will you prepare my food? So tell me what nightshades are. Okay. Hold on just a second. I'm trying to get to the one that I was on. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, I sure hope I haven't lost the ability to switch. That one? Let's see. Nope. Hmm. That's that. Yeah. So yeah. Okay, guys. Anyway, nightshades are tomatoes, chili family, potatoes, eggplant. Oh yeah, they'll prepare your food just about any way you want. Um, yeah. So food, the freshness of food, the ingredients in the food. Now, because fortunately I've shopped organic and had a garden for years. Okay, yeah. Is there a way to ensure foods are organically grown? Well, like I said, because most of the stuff over there is from literally picked that morning. Um, I mean, for instance, the U.S. is still the only country that allow glyphosate, which it's known to cause it alters your DNA, and yet there's still areas that allow it, and they don't even allow USB. I can't speak for Mexico, but I know many parts of Europe will not even import U.S. Uh, meat, chicken, beef, pork, whatever. They will not take it because of our antibiotics and because that are injected into our animals, as well as the chemicals that are sprayed on our food. So yeah, a lot of times they don't even have to label it organic because it is from farm to table. That's the term I was looking from, farm to table. Now, I would not say that is the case in Walmart because I don't know about Walmart. The big grocers have no idea who their suppliers are. Just a second. Okay, great. Alrighty. Let's see if I can get back to this. Back to my notes. Let's see if I like okay, packing slip, food. Okay. Now, the other thing, and I'm hoping that I can get my photograph thing back, is that that one, that one. Like I said, I'm closing them all down. So if you'll be patient with me. When it's down to the last one. Oh no. It's that one. Nope. This one. Okay. Then it has to be. Okay. So one of the things, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to share that. I mean, I have like 129 photos, so there was a lot of information. Let's see if this is the one. But in any case, one of the things I found interested in Puerto Vallarta was that I would not recommend it, that boots on the ground. You'd have to have boots on the ground to know this, was that it was not very walkable. I'm in terms of, I don't know. You can see the elevation there when out from. Oh, okay, great. I think I found it. I think I found it, guys. Let's see. Let's see if the picture changes. Did the picture change? No, not yet. This is killing me. Oh, finally. Yes. Yes. Okay, we're back on track. What I want you to see there is the elevation. Okay, that's Tyson and I near the water. As I said, there was a river that ran through there, and it ran through the entire city. And if you stay to the end, you'll see some photographs that are very dramatic because I happened to be there during Nora, which is the hurricane that had not hit Puerto Vallarta in over 20 years. I mentioned earlier that I was there in 20, I was there years ago, about 20 years ago. And when I took a tour, the guy mentioned on the scuba climbing to the various beaches that he said that Puerto Vallarta, which is the case, had not had a hurricane in more than 20 years because it's protected by the mountains, and it normally fizzles out before it gets there. So by the time Nora hit Puerto Vallarta, it had gone down to a level 1, but it still did significant damage. Now, as you can see there, it's nice and smooth, and that was the path that we walked from where I lived, which was a 25-minute walk from the Malecon to Buenos Aires up in the mountain. And along that path, there were shops and parks, and it was very that area was nice and flat. Um, there's a lot of food shots in here because I am a foodie. Okay, there's the shopping was great. Um, Very family oriented. There were families walking, and like I said, it wasn't a lot of tourists when I first got there because they hadn't seen a cruise ship in almost a year. And so I was there when the first cruise ship did come in. Okay, I am going to move this over here so that I can see you guys' chats. All right. All righty. And it says, what? Oh, yeah, she answered nightshades. Okay. Let's see. Any other questions? Uh, okay, let's talk about dental. Before I got there, because I was with the local group, I informed them that I would be looking for dental. Did it stop sharing? Oops. Okay, there we go. That I would be looking for a dental place. I'm looking at the screen, and I was given I gave my location, and because they gave me the location, I gave them where my Airbnb was. There was a lady that's her job was to she's like the go between or medical liaison. Like when you call the back of your, and I'm talking to retirees, if you call the back of your Medicaid card or whatever, Medicare card, you get customer service. They ask you your address and they give you providers in that area. Well, I'm in a foreign country. I'm going to go to a local expat group and say, hey guys, I need vision care, or I need a what doctors would y'all recommend? I let them know that I wanted to participate in getting some dental work because I lost a filling before I left, and I could have gotten it filled here, but it was I also wanted to test it, so I let it be known, and they did give me a recommendation. They even set up an appointment for me, so that was even better. Okay, let's see. I do want this back on. Okay, somehow I lost the boots on the ground again. Photos. Okay. All right. So that's something you couldn't find out. Uh, that's something you would schedule if you're doing the boots on the ground. You would test out the medical. I was very very happy with the dental care I got. I actually got not one but four fillings done for, gosh, I want to say $289, something like that. It was very very reasonable, um, and the quality of care was 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 very was beyond what I expected in the U.S. Okay, because if you go to the dentist here, you normally have to wait. Um, you get a filling 1 week, and then you go back the next week, and then you go back the next week, or the where you can't get the back-to-back appointments. And so I was very impressed that I was able to get all of them done. I got four fillings in one day. They set up the appointment. The Uber picked me up, and I went to. It was not in my neighborhood, but it was less than like 17 minutes away, maybe less than that in the Uber. And when I arrived, they were expecting me. It was very modern, state of the art. The woman, thank God, spoke excellent English, and she did all the lab work and said, "Yes, you have lost a filling, but the others are old. Would you like them replaced?" And I said, "Well, give me an estimate." She gave me the estimate. Um, it was in the evening, so she scheduled the appointment the next day. What I found very unusual that would never happen in the US was she scheduled the appointment and said, "Okay, see you tomorrow." And I'm waiting for her to tell me how much I owe. And she's like, "Well, you can pay tomorrow. You can pay tomorrow. You've just taken x-rays and done a thorough exam, and we're communicating by Google Translate. And so I know you're out of pocket, but yet you're not charging me." And she's like, I'm thinking all this. I'm not saying it to her, but the trust level is like, "Well, you need the work done, so you're going to come back." So she gave me an appointment for the next day, and I went back the next day and got the work done. And it was just that easy, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. That it was that easy to get it all taken care of. So that's how I handled that. And we went on, and from there we I came back. The doctor did not speak English as well as the receptionist did, but that wasn't a problem because everything was taken care of rather quickly. And so that was a very positive experience for me. Okay, let's see what else I want to cover here. Answer any more questions. Okay, the pharmaceuticals I covered. It's not very walkable. Um, in Buenos Aires, now the newer parts of Puerto Vallarta, the newer neighborhoods, um, yes, they're very flat and they have modern sidewalks. But the most beautiful, what I found to be the most beautiful parts of Puerto Vallarta, the older parts, the more scenic ones, is cobblestone. And I wanted to show you that again. And let's see if I think my picture froze again. Safety. I am a solo traveler. Um, I walk, like I said, the 25-minute walk from Buenos Aires to the Malecon. I felt very safe during the day. Of course, I was walking with Tyson along the riverbank. We went under riverbanks. We went through little neighborhoods where there were shops. And other than being very careful because of the uneven sidewalks and the very narrow sidewalks. Um, that was it. I don't have any mobility issues. So thank God. So, excuse me. So we handled it quite well in terms of being able to get around. And let's see. I'm waiting for the next photograph to come up. Let's see. Nope, nope, nope. Is it still sharing? Okay. Well, let's see. I can see the photographs. I wanted to show you the accommodations. And I want to speak to accommodations too. Oh, I was there during the rainy season. And that is quite an issue because, first of all, my Airbnb was, let's see. Okay, let's see if I can share the screen again. Because the Airbnb was very affordable, it was more affordable because it was during the rainy season. There we go. Yeah. So you see those beautiful sidewalks, right? Okay, it's coming up. I think there's a little delay. It has a very thriving nightlife. I love that. Okay, I told you I was a foodie. I ate and ate and ate and ate. It is breathtakingly beautiful, which is why it is a tourist attraction. The people were very welcoming. Um, of course, they wanted to sell you stuff because it is a tourist city. And when you were on the Malecon area, right near the beaches where all the large hotels are, that's just people will walk up to you and ask you, do you want to buy this or that? Okay, let's see. I want to make sure I'm going. All right. Oh, cobblestones. Okay, I want you to see this. That's great. Yes. So now you can see why I say be careful if you're walking. Those stones are very smooth. They've been there for years. Um, and because I was there during the rainy season, it's dry now, but you can see where the cars are. The water would get up to like the headlights in a matter of literally minutes. And I got caught in the torrential rains more than one occasion. But I knew I was going to be there during the rainy season. I did that homework. I knew my Airbnb would be more affordable. I knew I was going to move around to different areas around Puerto Vallarta. And so I was prepared for that. And rain doesn't bother me. I'm from Beaumont, Texas, on the Gulf of Mexico. So I grew up with thunderstorms. I actually enjoy them. That's a photograph of my Airbnb. I felt extremely safe. I knew it was in a traditional neighborhood. No one around me spoke English. I was fine with that. I went for peace, and I wanted to see if I would be welcome, and they were very welcoming. By the end of, I say, the second week, um, they were attempting some English. I had Google Translate, so I always said good morning and spoke, and they smiled and waved back. The children would knock on the door and try to sell like fruit, vegetables, desserts, or whatever. Uh, and I just enjoyed my neighbors. My Airbnb host told me the people across from me were friends of hers if I need anything. And of course, I had their phone numbers. Okay, I want to show you the other parts of my accommodation. I listened to JD Brown, whose video, if you are a novice traveler, you definitely want to do the interview that I did of JD Brown, because I took advantage of all her security tips. I had the door alarm. I was the only one that set off the door alarm, and my neighbors probably were quite annoyed about that. I'd forget it was there, and you pull that thing, and boy, the whole neighborhood wakes up. Okay, now my Airbnb, of course, said air conditioning because Puerto Vallarta is warm, and I was told it was going to be hot and muggy. Well, I enjoyed it better than Dallas. I left Dallas in July, and so Puerto Vallarta's heat was not even as bad as it was in Dallas at that time. You can see my bathroom, and that's part of the bedroom. And so, however, yes, it was air conditioned, and my place was always comfortable. In terms of hot water, that was an issue, and I don't know if that was because I was in the Buenos Aires area, but I will show you the heating element that I was supposed to turn off the AC while I take and turn on this other little mechanical thing that was supposed to heat the shower. It never got past warm. So if that's an issue, that's something you want to ask. Um, and so if I was going to live there for a 6 month or a year period, I would pick one where I knew I could get some hot water. Of course, because it was so hot outside, the warm showers were fine. I usually came in hot, and the warm shower was just fine. But that is something you want to know. That's a view from near the Malecon, downtown, what I consider downtown Puerto Vallarta. That's one of the hotels where I met my first meet and greet with the people. That's the hotel for the first meet and greet. The Grand Miramar. And Puerto Vallarta has a very thriving Black community, Black expat community with a wealth of information. So there's a personal trainer in this. There's some women that were from Rwanda that were visiting there. There's every age group. So you just go to more than one meet and greet because those people live there, and so they may attend one, and the next time you go to another one, it may be a whole nother group of people, and they'll tell you about and they live all over. They live in the central area, they live in Miss Maloya area, and there's like 7 or 8 large communities around Puerto Vallarta. And so that's a wealth of information. They tell you the best places to eat, the best places to shop. That's the little contraption that was supposed to, oh wait, it's coming up. That was supposed to heat my water. Okay. I think it was working properly. I could detect some change in temperature, water temperature, but it never, ever, ever got hot. And that was only for the shower. The kitchen area never had hot water. I boiled water to wash dishes. The animals, you've heard that Mexico has a lot of stray animals. I'm here to tell you those animals are not stray. Those animals have homes. What their culture does in the area that I lived in, and I can only speak to that area, to the Puerto Vallarta and the Buenos Aires area, is that the animals either were free to roam around in the neighborhood where they lived, or they were on the roofs of the houses. And a lot of them were on the roofs of the houses while the owners were out. But a number of them were free to roam, and they did not roam very far because they actually protect the dwelling while their owners were at work. And so you didn't see dogs out at night because those dogs went in when their owners came in to be fed. I walked the community a lot. I went in a different direction every day. I am a native Texan, so it was very important to me to find a place that had a good steak. It's one of the best steaks I've had in years. Um, and I'll show you the name of the restaurant at the end. I'm sorry, guys, I can't switch over and do the chat part right now because every time I switch to do the chat part is when I mess up the photographs. The dessert, I mean, the food was just to die for. The night shopping was really good. I enjoyed that. It had just rained. They're used to the rain, so they have tents. The rain does not shut down the city. Nothing stops during the rainy season. It will, like I said, it will rain it rained up to my knees. And so you have to be careful to wear shoes to grip and you don't mind getting wet. I wanted to show you the comparison in pricing. That was, I think, the one of the really nice restaurants where I had drinks and everything. Or maybe I went shopping. What was I doing there? But the total, it was 61 US dollars. And that's what it was in 1,223 pesos. So having the converter and Google Translate made it really easy. That's the neighborhood I lived in. You can see the water. I'm going under a bridge. Beautiful, beautiful neighborhood. Boots on the ground is where you find your living area if you're going to be anywhere long term, because most of the families that are leasing long term are not doing Airbnbs. They may not even be on the internet. They are family owned and they don't want to sell them. They're going to keep them for their children. This is just income property. And the way you will find it is walking the neighborhood. Some list by real estate agents, but many don't. They just put a sign in the window. I wanted to show you, this is my neighborhood, the neighborhood I was in, Buenos Aires and surrounding area. So you can see quite mountainous. I want you to pay particular attention to this next slide, this next photograph, because it has significance at the end. This was the entrance to the Buenos Aires area. And so coming from Puerto Vallarta, you would come to this little tower and then go down that street where the red car is parked up into the Buenos Aires area. Okay. And as you can see, the elevate, okay, that's just another slide of inside. I'm showing the security things. You can see the incline and you can see the cobblestones. That it is not for the mobility impaired person. There is a lot of stairs. There are no sidewalks. You're actually walking on the street on the cobblestone. It's slippery when it's dry, so it's especially slippery when it's wet. I wanted to show you one of my neighbor's dogs. This dog was two stories up from me, and I could hear him, but I rarely saw him because he stayed behind the curtain. Well, one day he poked his head out. Very massive. I think it's a mastiff. He didn't bark very much though. It was the little dogs that barked a lot. There's my Starbucks. Okay. Oh, the next slide is going to bring up the telephone card. I had Google Fi. While I was there, I switched to Telcel. What I found to be the issue I had with Telcel was when I would call a US number, and there was a number of occasions where I had to call either pharmacy back home or T-Mobile or some American company, because I was dialing from a Telcel Mexican number, it would go to their Spanish speaking line. and it would not switch over to English, and there was not a prompt that switched it to English. That was very frustrating. Okay, another wonderful meal. The other thing, and this makes me remember that hindsight, or if I were to settle in back in that area, I would be very careful as to which neighborhood I picked, because the Uber Eats, even though Uber would pick you up all over, Uber Eats, I was like one block from Uber Eats delivery, which means I literally had to go in the car and go to the restaurants, but there were there were eateries or places to eat all in my neighborhood. And I think I have a picture of one. This is one of the Puerto also has world-class resorts, and for the timeshares. So this is one of the timeshares. It was absolutely beautiful. The food was magnificent. The views were fantastic. Um, and I got some coffee flavored tequila for going, which I treasure to this day. That's the best. I never had coffee flavored tequila. It was wonderful. This is an example of what I was saying. The best deals for long-term rentals you find by walking around, because one day they're out there, the next day they're gone as soon as they're leased out. Okay. Oops. Let's see. I think this is, no, it's not yet. Well, I've been on for a while. Okay, Lorenta. Yeah. Okay. Okay. There it is. Lorente. Sorrente. That's where you find the best deals. Now, this place was literally right around the corner from where I was staying, and I think it was going to lease for 500 US dollars, the equivalent of 500 US dollars a month. That was the balcony area, and that was both sides. So one was the bedroom and one was the living area. And I want to show you, oh, the place with the view. That was the view from that balcony. You could actually see the river. Okay, nope, not that. Let's see. Let's back up. Back up. Okay, so that's me standing on that balcony, and you could see the river that ran through the city right there. So that was going to be a nice place. So if I were to go back, I would certainly look at leasing that one, because I enjoyed Buenos Aires. I enjoyed being away. I liked being close to the hustle and bustle and the city, but I liked also returning home to a quiet neighborhood that I felt very comfortable walking in, regardless of the time of day. That's the beautiful Malecon. I got my hair done. Another thing, especially as Black women, can I get my hair done there? That was another thing I planned ahead. I knew I was arriving on July 27th. On July 29th, because of the local expat group, a woman came to my home and did my locks. So, and she did a fantastic job, and I made a friend. The prescriptions. So as you can see, uh, Ritalins available, the diet pills. A lot of this stuff required no prescription. Some did, some didn't. Even though I'm a senior, I have grandkids and children, and so it was very important for me to check out the facilities, the schools, the parks and recreation. That was in the newer, I think this was the central, maybe the central area. It's a little, it was very beautiful. Yeah, like I said, all kinds of food from steak, seafood, pizza, Greek food, Italian food, everything is there. Coffee was fantastic. That was surprising. I didn't know that Mexico or Puerto Vallarta in particular was very proud of their coffee. Or had reason to be. The coffee was so smooth. I'm a coffee connoisseur. I love a good cup of coffee. And also the vanilla. Puerto Vallarta and maybe Mexico in general is known for having very rich, flavorful vanilla, which I brought some back. The vanilla extract. That's right outside that pizzeria at night. The skylines and the night are just beautiful, just beautiful. As you can see, it has rained that particular day. Oh gosh, we're over an hour. Yoga. Okay, that's rain. I got caught in the rain many, many times. That's right outside my neighborhood. There's a park, and these ladies had the music going, and they were doing yoga. And so I could get my exercise on. You were free to join them if you wanted to. It was just tons of fun. Okay, we're all fans of. If you're on my channel, and you're in my Facebook group, then you know Stephanie Perry, you know Rashida Dove, you know Adelia, Picky Girl Travels the World. They are my fabs. I see them. They're about the age of my children, so I see them as my daughters. But they are such a wealth of information, and they were the ones who inspired me to start my own channel, YouTube channel, and Facebook group because my focus was on addressing the issues of seniors, not becoming a digital nomad, not looking to earn a living, but looking to enjoy the rest of my life um, in a place that was more affordable than the US, that my US dollars would go further, and that the luxuries that I wanted to enjoy would be more affordable. And one of those luxuries was not having to do my own laundry. The laundry lady was right up the street. And I say right, she was literally around the corner from where I was staying. And I thought it was going to be $9 because I brought her 2 pillowcases of laundry full of dirty laundry. It was actually $4.50 to get my laundry done. And it smelled wonderful. And it was all folded and packaged and ready for me to pick up within, if had I brought it that morning, it would have been ready that afternoon. But because I brought it afternoon, it was ready the next day. This, at the end of my boots on the ground, after I had checked off dental, optical, prescription drugs, walkability, diversity of food, the healthiness of the food and different beverages, the affordability, the rental places. After I've done all of that, it was time for fun. And you say, well, why this picture if it was time for fun? Because I took a tour. This was the tour to the 7 hidden beaches, which are absolutely hidden and absolutely beautiful. One of them being Miss Maloya area. Well, it was somehow I missed. It was a 2 hour, 126 minute hike straight up. And this is a young woman. I was the oldest. I said he should have put an age limit on that and said nobody over 50. And I am over 60. And so 65 at the time. Because I made my birthday after I came back, so I'm 66. But in any case, I wore the right shoes, thank God, that gripped. And because it was straight up, it was not a path. It I didn't see a path. I saw lots of rocks, and I think everybody, and there was 9 people in our group. At one point, everybody either slipped or fell, and some people fell multiple times. And often there was nothing to catch you from going straight down. So, except maybe the guide or the person behind you. And so I don't know, had I known the treacherousness of that 2 hour hike, I may have missed out on this. But because I didn't know, you see those great big rocks, we were climbing rocks that size. Yeah, we were climbing those rocks. And so the person ahead would get in front of you and or the guide and lean down and hoist you up because nothing was even. The one big stone to and they were smooth. But as you can see, it was so beautiful once we arrived at those locations. It was just breathtaking, and we did get to spend a significant amount of time at those places before we moved on because they weren't in a rush. It was more important for them that everybody have a good time, and we did. And so this is one of the beautiful, beautiful beaches. That's right across the street from where I lived, right on the other side near the river. And so that's where I would walk Tyson, and that's where he would play. And right adjacent to that was a woman had a shop where she lived, and she made the most wonderful tortillas. So I ate there morning, noon, and night. If not at her place, maybe 3 walks down, there was another woman. All along the street where I lived, there was probably 4 different places that I could stop and eat and have just wonderful food. There was also shopping in the neighborhood, so I could shop and buy clothing, or there was actually a tortilla factory um, right at the corner, so I could buy. And restaurants were coming and purchasing her tortillas. Oops, I'm going backwards. Wait a minute. Wow. Okay. Once again, treacherous walking. Yeah. Many, many stairs. I got my exercise. This is one of the places I stayed at, maybe 3 different places besides my Airbnb. My Airbnb was my go to. The next slide shows what I've been saying. You want to find a good place, you be there and you walk. Beautiful gated area. This was the path I walked daily. Okay, this was another example of, oh, and pay attention to this. At the end, you're going to see what Hurricane Nora did to the path that I walked every day. Again, this is an example of the Formacia, and you can see all the, and they do speak English at most of them. Okay, this is okay. I'm the arrow at the top is pointing to where I live. Okay, and the arrow at the bottom, I think that is okay. That's a bench. Right on the other side was where the river dropped. This is on the other side of the building where I lived. This is the Guana in Miss Maloya, where I spent a weekend because I wanted to be right on the water. I didn't want the 25-minute walk. So I stayed at it's a resort. Another meet and greet. The people are fantastic. And that was live music. It was very good. Many of the people joined in. They were singing 70s songs, Airbnb. So we knew the words to everything. It was a ton of fun. Yes, that's Iraka who lives there, who is a wealth of information. And she will organize meet and greets from time to time. And yes, we're Deltas. Woo. Shout out to the Deltas. This was, I found near the end of my stay. This was just the opposite of going down to the Malecon on the beach area. This was a higher elevation. This was going in the other direction, higher in the mountains. And there was a whole like, I'm trying to see how I would describe it. It was a big restaurant, multiple restaurants, multiple shopping. Um, you could do multiple adventures. You could do the zipped. Okay, now I'm losing my zip lining. You could do zip lining. You could do go karts. You could there was just a whole number of activities that were available. And so I took a bus. I started to walk it and realized it was quite a distance. So then I took one of the buses. Oh, and I was on a bus route. That was the other thing. So I was not only on Uber, I was also on a bus route, but I was just my Airbnb was just one block away from Uber Eats being delivered. This is where I interviewed Empress. This is her house. Oh my gosh, I loved it. It overlooked the ocean where I had been the day before, and the place above her was being leased. Uh, so when I go back, I may be her neighbor if I decide to stay in Puerto Vallarta for 6 months or more. And this was what a boutique hotel I stayed in. I This was my last weekend before, and this was the weekend of Nora, Hurricane Nora. And so while I was enjoying this, Tyson was at the Airbnb because it was like maybe a 12-minute. I could walk Tyson in the evening, um, and then come to and spend the night at this particular boutique restaurant, boutique hotel to be right in the nightlife, and then go back and take care of him in the morning and come back. And so I spent like a weekend there. It was beautiful and right in the middle of everything. The colors were spectacular. The decor. Just beautiful. Man, I miss it when I go. I hadn't gone through these in a while. And so I'm seeing them for the first time again as I share them with you. And I had a gorgeous view of the balcony, very reasonable um, accommodations, right in the center of the romantic zone of Puerto Vallarta. And very nice large room. Walk right out into the romantic area, which is where a lot of the restaurants are. And it's like a block from or you're right on the beach. And that was my okay, let's see, this is a little slow. Let me look up here. That was the balcony view. So you can see in the back, that is the ocean. This next slide coming up is this is where the wonderful uh, steak was and the best fried chicken. I thought my mom was in the kitchen. That's how great the fried chicken was at Joe Jack's. Joe Jack's. Love Joe Jack's. And that's in the romantic zone. The shopping was great. That's also in the romantic area. And I've been on almost an hour and 25 minutes, right at an hour and 30 minutes. This is the very end. We're back on the airplane. Oh, I did say I did go snorkeling. This is my photo shoot of snorkeling. Fantastic guy. Um, if you want his information, I'll try to list it below, or you can in a comment ask, and I'll send it to you. He was in a very, very, very old Volkswagen van. Uh, it actually had to be jump start at one point, but he was the most wonderful tour guide. We spent like 2 hours, two, no, I think it was longer than that, almost 3 hours. He took me to the most beautiful place to snorkel and do the photo shoots of me snorkeling. And he was just so patient because I hadn't snorkeled in probably 5 years. That was the last time I went to Hawaii. And so there was some beautiful, colorful fish and coral. And Puerto Vallarta is very proud of their snorkeling. It does not compare to Hawaii, but it is nice. It is nice. I mean, Maui is just fantastic, but Puerto Vallarta snorkeling is pretty good. And the water temperature was absolutely perfect, so I had a fantastic time. And they really want to make sure you get your money's worth. So I wasn't rushed. This is the little store that was literally out my door and around the corner, and where I treated myself to ice cream every night. And I got my water. This is a Raka. Waiting for the slide. I'm so glad I finally got the slides to work because, and guys, I have twice as many. These are the ones I picked out for you. Araka has Puerto Vallarta Viewpoint, which is her channel. And you definitely want to go there because she covers stories and aspects of Puerto Vallarta. And she lives there. That's her home. And she's just so welcoming. And so shout out to her. This is another view. This is like a collage of my Airbnb. So you can see it was comfortable. It was immaculately clean. It was not fancy luxurious because it was in a very, like I said, local neighborhood, traditional neighborhood, Mexican neighborhood. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was very affordable. It took care of all my needs. My only concern, and it's not even a concern, it was a surprise, was that the kitchen was so small and the refrigerator, as you can see in the top, on the second, from the top down, that little white thing, it's like a college refrigerator. And I was like, oh, but I can't put ice cream in there. But I managed to get ice cream in there. But anyway, I didn't do a lot of and the cooking was the little propane in the back. You can see there was no microwave. It was a coffee pot. All the utensils and everything was there. I did miss having the microwave, and there was no toaster, but most of the food I just went outside and got from a vendor because, like I said, there was everybody around me had a little small restaurant. And so I would just use that to warm stuff. And maybe I'd have some refried beans and eggs and whatever. So there was skillets, there were all the utensils were there. I was quite comfortable and it was very affordable. Those are what's coming up now are the areas. Okay, that's the trend. Okay, those are the 5 main areas around Puerto Vallarta. So you have the I won't even try to pronounce them. The romantic zone is the one I know very well. And then not gonna try. But those are the areas. And let's see if I can show you where Buenos Aires is. I looked at a hostel, but I did not stay in it because I opted not to. There was a single room, but and that's the picture of the hostel, and it would have been fine except it had no windows. No windows in the single room, so I didn't stay there. Hidden beaches, that was the tour for the hiking, the seven hidden beaches. And last but not least, I had to include this because it happened and you have to prepare for the unexpected. Nora. Nora hit when I was at the boutique hotel because I did not speak the language. I had no idea what was going on, that they were battening down for a hurricane. I just thought it was a regular rain until I attempted to take the Uber back to the Airbnb that morning, and the taxi driver put me down about a half to a quarter mile from the Airbnb. And when I inquired why, he pointed, and I could see that the bridge was gone. Half of the bridge was gone. Thanks to Nora. So thankfully, I was only there for overnight. I did do a little shopping because I was leaving that Tuesday, and this was that Sunday afternoon. Nora came in that Saturday night and Sunday morning, and the river rose and completely flooded the romantic area, the romantic zone, and central area was shops, many shops had mud in them. This was literally in my neighborhood. After the closer I got, the more concerned I was of Tyson's safety because we were across the street from the river. And I didn't know if the water had got into the Airbnb. Where you see the ladders in the next slide, that's where I was on the other side of that building. So you can see the cars there, the drop off is there, the road is gone there, and, and I'm on the other side, and there's mud in there. And the people were out shoveling mud out of their facility. Remember, I told you earlier to remember where I walked every day, see where the handles are, and that they just disappeared. They fell into the river, and that the water is still draining off into the river. The rains were what I liked about Puerto Vallarta, and it is the case, and that may be the last slide, is that the drainage there is so good because of the rainy season that by Tuesday the roads were traveled. Well, the next day, many parts of the city you were able to get around because, as you can see, the roads are drying out there, and people are walking. It was not a pleasant walk back. My Airbnb was completely dry. I did lose power for the power went out. And so even though I was scheduled to leave that Tuesday, I actually left Monday. After Tyson and I were safe, we spent one night without power, without Wi-Fi, which was a concern, because I was not able to let the people, my relatives in the U.S., I couldn't communicate with anybody to let them know that I was safe. But because of the wonderful connections that I had made with the local expats, with the Raka and with Empress, the next day, that Monday, when I walked to an area out near the park from where I was staying, I could get a signal. And immediately there were messages inquiring of my safety and welcoming me to come and stay with them. Uh, and the most surprising thing was that Monday, with the power still off and with the Wi Fi still off, at about 1 o'clock, the Airbnb owners, which was a young Hispanic family, were there to check on me. And not only did they check on me and give me a charger, portable charger for my phone, but that family also, when I communicated to them that, I wasn't going to stay because I needed to get into the city closer to the airport, because now I had all my luggage from over a month's stay plus my dog, and the roads were out. So I was going to have to make that same half-mile walk back to, um, the area where I could catch a taxi. And so these people, that family, the husband and the wife and the little boy and the little girl, each took my luggage while I had my backpack and Tyson, and we trudged through this mud for about a quarter of a mile up to where I showed you there was that tower where you entered the neighborhood. That's the distance we walked, and they walked with me, and then flagged down a taxi to take me into, the city and closer to the airport. So that's my boots on the ground uh, experience in Puerto Vallarta, and my takeaway was, finding out how to get the most affordable housing, which was visiting and walking those cities, determining whether it was, safe, determining if I'd be able to get the medical care there. The medical care was excellent. I spoke to several people who had doctors, that were very happy with their physicians. I had an eye exam while I was there. All in all, yeah. Okay, I think I can now see the, I can go back to see you guys, comments now. Let's see. Great, you had your laundry done. Did you consider public transportation to the airport? I guess I could have taken a bus, but I didn't want to. I had a dog, and they didn't want the dog on the buses. That was the big drawback. Even though he is a service dog with papers and everything, I had convinced a couple taxis and a couple Uber drivers who got to know me to come to my area and pick us up, and so we didn't really have a big problem. And Tyson is fine. He 6 hours by himself is he's a mature dog. He's very chill. He's very well trained, and so I trained him for travel. Can you post Airbnb? I did post Airbnb. Do you feel safe walking at night by yourself? I felt safe walking at night by myself in my neighborhood because it was very family oriented. There were always the entire family would come home because it is hot. Uh, Many have air conditioning, but they still would have their doors open. So it was school time. It was July. I guess they're in school. I don't know. Um, but in any case, when they came home from work, that's when the neighborhood woke up because the dad was home, the moms were cooking, the kids were outside playing in the streets, in the park area, and that was just it was wonderful. It was like growing up in small town Louisiana, small town Texas, or whatever, before moving to Dallas, the big city where I've lived since I got out of college. But it kind of took me back to the simple life of seeing parents, several generations sitting on their steps, um, watching the children play till late into the night. So yeah, when I would go out at 10 o'clock to the corner to get ice cream or soda or whatever, there were my neighbors right there. There would be a gang of teenage boys who were polite, who parted ways so I could walk through. I never felt threatened at all the entire time I was there. I felt safer. Downtown Dallas, my friends and relatives say, don't walk your dog at night. I live in downtown, it's completely lit up. So, but I would not venture out as far in my own neighborhood downtown as I ventured out there at night, because I got to know the neighbors. They got to know me. They were knocking on my door to make sure I was safe after Nora, and asking how long I was going to be, and just letting me know this store had power so I could go get water there, or this area had a signal. It was just that neighborhood feel that made everything just so worth it. Tyson was not permitted to stay with you at the boutique. Yes, Tyson was with me at the boutique hotel when not the first time, but when I stayed at two different boutique hotels. The first one, he was not. The second, oh, was he? No, he was not. He was not there with me the night of the storm because I went back to the Airbnb. Oh, but he could have come. He could have come because he is a service dog. And the second one, the one I moved into, the third one, I guess, I moved into to be in the city so that um, I could get to the airport with no problem. Of course, he was with me because we had left the Airbnb then. And but yeah, he was welcome in the hotels. He was welcome in the restaurants. He was just not welcome in the Ubers and the taxis and the buses. Okay. And like I said, because I stayed there for 35 days, I got to know some taxi drivers and I got to know some Uber drivers, and they knew me. So they did not have a problem with taking Tyson along. So I would know who to call if I was going to bring Tyson with me. Gosh, I've been on for an hour and 42 minutes. Did you overpack? Oh gosh, yes, I overpacked. What percentage of clothing set would you leave out if I were to do it again? I would leave half of that stuff because they kept saying it's hot, it's hot, it's hot. And so I would ask the local expat group, okay, does that mean shorts or does that mean um, the dry weave polyester material, the flooring material? So I had like one suitcase, half a suitcase was like 3/4 inch, shorts. I did not wear the shorts at all because they were cotton or denim. Oh my gosh, very uncomfortable. So but I did have like um, the flowing either dresses with the slits up the side or the pants with the slits and the flowing. It was more comfortable to cover with some type of um, I say nylon or polyester or whatever, something that was going to catch the breeze and give you cool your legs and stuff like that. So yes, I wouldn't pack anything cotton or denim. It would cotton blends, something that's very airy and stuff like that. That's the way I would pack. So I would have left that stuff at home. I didn't overpack in terms of shoes, and I'm a shoe person, probably own a couple hundred pairs of shoes. But I only bought 3 pairs of shoes, and that was all I needed. I had the sandals, some very good walking sandals, Skechers. Hmm. Skechers should sponsor me, should sponsor my YouTube video. Skechers, and then I had some of my running shoes, which are also made to grip. So I had my running shoes. I had my Skechers sandals, closed toe sandals. I had a pair of open toe sandals. I wore the closed toe sandals more often because of the stones and stuff like that and the dust blowing. They kept my feet cleaner. Um, and like I said, because I got caught in the I was there during rainy season, so it didn't matter to me if I went out and it was great weather and then all of a sudden it rained and it was up to literally almost my knees. So, but that I knew that going into it because it was rainy season. Oops, put my glasses down. Okay, guys, I'm tired. I've talked and I can talk for an hour and 45 minutes. Do you feel safe? Yes, 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 yes. Did you? Yeah. Okay. So I think, did I overpack? Was the last one? Oh, yes, I got my laundry done. Oh my gosh. Now I don't want to do my laundry. Okay. Love coffee too. That I brought that vanilla back home. I'm a baker. I make pralines. Everybody's like, "Oh, your pralines are great," but oh my gosh, there's something about them. It was the vanilla from Mexico. Let's see. And I got to get some more of that tequila, that coffee flavored tequila. Oh my gosh, I love that. I don't know. I before this broadcast, I asked them because I did want to go back to, for personal preferences, I wanted to go back to T-Mobile. I was not all that excited about my experience with Google Fi. And T-Mobile would have to ship me my Sims card. And that's when I realized, wait a minute, I don't see a post office. I don't even see a mailbox. And so I asked, how do you get stuff sent to you from the US? And I was told there's DHL. And then if I was going to live there, I would have sought out an arrangement with one of the local vendors who was having stuff shipped. Okay. And then I could just pick it up from, they have it shipped to their business establishment and I could pick it up from them. But I do understand there is the DHL and some type of delivery. I would love to have this information available. What the Oh, okay, yeah. If you be sure and comment, um, you can message me. You can private message me for any information that you want. If you are a Black female, you are welcome to join the Facebook group. I will post a link to the Facebook group. And if you're in the Facebook group, because this is being broadcast live simultaneously to the YouTube channel and to the Facebook group. So if you're in the Facebook group and you're not a part of the YouTube channel, you do want to go and join the YouTube channel for notifications, because not all YouTube broadcasts are posted to the Facebook group. And if you're part of the YouTube channel, but you want more in-depth information, you can find that in the Facebook group if you are a Black female. And please have a profile picture of yourself, because it is a private group. And for those who need a little or a lot more assistance, you definitely want to private message me for the um, subscription group that is in the works now. Because a lot of information will be there. It'll be stored there to always have access to that, in terms of the boots on the ground experiences, in terms of shared accommodation, in terms of declutter workshops and declutter courses. That's what's going to be in the paid subscription. And there will be courses that will be free, like to the first 100 subscribers. And so myself and the tech designer who is doing that, we are pricing out the price line, but the subscription will be, it'll be like a monthly subscription. It'll be totally, of course, a private subscription. So it'll be an app on your phone, and just an app on your phone. You won't have to go to Facebook. You won't have to go to YouTube. You just press that app. All that information will be there. Courses will be there. And I am extremely excited about that. It's going to be, I know it's going to be under $40 a month because I don't want it to be more. Uh, and for the first 100, it's going to always be at that price break. And for the first 100, I know for sure the declutter class is going to be course is going to be, it's going to be free. And so I'm really excited about that. And so for those who want to already get on the list to get more information or to be a part of that subscription when it comes within the next 90 days, then you need to just send me a private message and say, yes, I'm interested. Here's my email so that you can get that information. And with that, oh my gosh, 100 hour and 50 minutes. I'm talked out. You guys should be listened out. Let's see. Did you buy any clothes? Did you? Oh, I did. I did. I bought clothing because 3 days before my luggage caught up with me. So I did buy clothing. I did have insurance. They did reimburse me for that clothing and the food. Well, no, the clothing because I was going to eat regardless. But for the clothing, I was reimbursed. For the shopping of toiletries, I was reimbursed. For the taxi cab back to the airport and stuff, I was reimbursed. So I think that's it. I think I covered it all. Yay! Yes, Skechers are the best. you know, um, oh, I can't think of his name, but one of the black runner that Map, I think it's Map. He Skechers sponsors him, and I met him, and yeah, I'm a Skechers person. But like I said, Skechers not paying me. So if you know anybody that works for Skechers marketing, tell them they need to support my channel. For wide feet. Well, I have a narrow foot, but I still wear them. Okay, guys. Well, I certainly hope you got something out of not only my boots on the ground, but Mary's from last week. And if you've done a boots on the ground, or you or have lived in a community for a month, 6 months, it's your home, and you want to be interviewed on my channel, just send me a private message, and we'll go from there. Like I said, this is so we've covered Panama, we've covered Panama City, and we covered Puerto Vallarta now. Um, as far as future trips, I'm looking at Ecuador, um, Manta, and I think it's Quito, and also Mazatlan, if I going back to Mexico, um, Lisbon, Portugal. So those are definitely Africa, Rwanda, South Africa, um, Kigali. Um, just like I said, the group is worldwide. I'm creating a worldwide. Um, my goal is to have a community. Of there is an existing community of Black women who live all over the world, and I want that connection for those of us who are seeking to go anywhere in the world to find our sisters who are already there, who are willing to give them or me the information that I could relay to to our sisters to make that happen. And so, with that, until next time, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for your patience as I worked out. This is my first time sharing, and It was rough, but we made it through. So always remember, you have only one life. Make the most of each and every day. Be blessed. Bye.